My husband missed our baby's birth to be with his mistress. Now he wants me to adopt their baby. We've been together since high school, married 14 years, and we have 3 kids, an 8-year-old son, a 5-year-old daughter, and a 2-month-old baby girl named Camille. Last night, Tyler came home visibly shaken. He poured himself a drink, sat at the dining table, head in his hands. And I just knew something was wrong. After putting the kids to bed and feeding the baby, I sat down to ask what was going on. I wish I hadn't. He started by apologizing for missing Camille's birth. That was already painful. I had our baby without him there, and he'd told me he was on a work trip in Canada. Turns out he was in Canada, just not for work. He was at the birth of his other daughter, his mistress's baby. They were born less than 24 hours apart. I thought I'd throw up. And then he said something I'll never forget, that his mistress, Emily, wasn't doing well, that she couldn't care for the baby, and she wanted us to take her, to raise her as Camille's twin. I didn't cry, didn't scream, didn't even move, until he said he needed me to sign paperwork to bring the baby back to our country. That's when I locked myself in the bathroom. He actually knocked on the door 15 minutes later, telling me he needed me to sign quickly so they could get things moving. I sat on the floor, numb, realizing I didn't even know who I was married to anymore. We're a religious family. Divorce isn't really an option in our community. But how do you stay with someone who built an entire second life behind your back? If I leave, I'll be judged. If I stay, I'll lose myself completely. The next day, I dropped our older kids at school, left the baby with my in-laws, and came home to talk to him. I told him I wanted the truth, and I got it. Turns out Emily wasn't the only one. He has several other women in different countries, and even another child, a 13-year-old. I told him to pack a bag and be gone by the time I got home. When I told my in-laws, my mother-in-law defended him. She said he'd made a mistake, that babies are blessings wherever they come from. But my father-in-law, he was furious. He told her there was no defending what Tyler had done. He's a lawyer, and he immediately offered to help me. He's transferring a portion of the family trust so I can support myself and the kids. He told me I don't need to stay married, that I can get an annulment. That way my faith and my dignity stay intact. I'm done. I want an annulment. Update. So this is my second update. The first one was short, but a lot has happened since then, and honestly, I can't say it feels like I'm in a haze anymore. The numbness is gone, and in its place is pure, painful clarity. The emotions finally hit me, and they hit hard. I've spent the past few days crying non-stop, snapping at my kids for things that didn't matter, and hating myself for it. I'm trying to be gentle with myself, but it's hard when you realize your whole life has been a lie. But if I thought Tyler was the worst person in this story, I was wrong. That title goes to my mother-in-law. Turns out, she knew. She's known for years. Right before our wedding, Tyler went to her and told her that his side fling was pregnant with his first affair baby. And instead of stopping him, she told him to go forth and multiply. She didn't want to lose her precious son to another country, so she told him to keep it secret. He married me anyway. She's known about all of them. The other 2 children, the mistresses. She's even met them. She travels a lot, so no one ever questioned it when she went overseas. She bought those kids gifts. She set up college funds for them behind her husband's back. My father-in-law just found out, and he's furious. He's staying in a luxury resort right now, grieving the collapse of his entire family in style. As for Tyler, yes, he saw my original post. He said, "How could you destroy the one place I find peace?" Right back at you, pal. He's since deleted all his socials, so sorry, Reddit, you've lost a fan. The last time we spoke, he agreed to sign over the house, won't contest the annulment, and said he doesn't want to see the kids. After all, if the marriage didn't count, then in his mind, the kids don't either. And then there's the baby, the one he had with his mistress in Canada. My mother-in-law is still trying to guilt me into adopting her. She says, the poor little thing should be with family. But no, I don't blame that baby. So yeah, I'm still standing. Barely, but standing. And if Tyler's listening, you didn't just cheat on me. You cheated our children out of a father. You cheated your mistresses out of honesty. And you cheated yourself out of a soul. I'm done carrying the weight of your sins. It's my turn to build something new. This time out of honesty, healing, and peace. Update 2. This whole situation has officially gone from unbelievable to insane. I'll try to make it make sense. Following all the advice I'd gotten, from Reddit, from my lawyer, from therapy, I'd gone no contact with my mother-in-law. I'd changed my number but kept the old phone active, just in case I ever needed proof of contact. Thank God I did. A few nights ago, around 3 a.m., I woke up to strange noises downstairs. At first, I thought it was Tyler, but I've changed all the locks. Then I thought maybe one of my kids had gotten up for a drink, so I got out of bed to check. But as I passed their rooms, each of them was sound asleep. That's when I knew something was wrong. I grabbed my phone and called the police. When they arrived, they found my MIL sitting in my kitchen with a woman who looked like she belonged on a magazine cover. Emily, Tyler's mistress. And in her arms, a 3-month-old baby. Apparently, my mother-in-law had climbed through a bush, used the kids' playroom window to get inside, then let Emily in through the back door. When the officers asked what on earth they were doing there, they said they were just dropping off the baby. My baby. They told the police they didn't want to wake me up because I must be tired from caring for twins. The officer came upstairs, completely calm, and told me my other baby was downstairs. I told him, I only have one baby, and she's in my arms. He looked at me like I was losing my mind. He called paramedics. For 2 hours, I sat there trying to explain that I only had 3 kids, not 4, not twins, while my Emil kept insisting that I'd recently had 2 babies. After multiple calls to Tyler, all unanswered, the paramedics finally reached my father-in-law. He confirmed everything I'd been saying, and that's when the truth hit everyone at once. My mother-in-law and Emily were arrested, multiple charges. I now have a restraining order against both of them. Child Services took temporary custody of the other baby, and I haven't heard a word since. Apparently, they both made bail. Now I'm living in a state of fear. Every noise makes me jump. Every shadow looks like her breaking in again. Thankfully, my kids slept through it all. They have no idea what happened that night. But I can't unsee it. I can't unfeel the terror of realizing my home isn't safe anymore. I've changed the alarm code again, and my father-in-law has invited us to stay with him at the resort until I can sell the house. It's not a long-term solution, but for now, it's something. It might take months before I can finally move, and when I do, it will be far, far away. Until then, I'm just surviving one day at a time. Therapy every day, holding my kids close, and praying no more ghosts from this nightmare come crawling through my windows again.